Women podcast. For your career and your life, no matter what business you're in.
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the Northern Power Women podcast. I'm Sam Walker here in Phoenix, Arizona, latterly of Manchester, of course. She is our great leader, Simone Roche, MBE, Queen of Liverpool. I'm just giving you all the titles, your real ones and made up ones today, because why not? It's COVID, it's 2021, it's raining outside, it's cloudy here in Phoenix. Let's just go for it.
Oh my goodness, it's sunny here. And equally, we did say the other week, didn't we, when we were talking about Dr. Jill Biden, the new First Lady, about using your titles. And
Exactly.
Actually, before we talk about the inauguration and everything exciting that happened at the end of last week, something happened to you. You have a new book. You are not only award-winning producer, you are now an authoress.
I'm so excited. It is a book born from the podcast series Coming Out Stories that I make with Emma Goswell, who is my fantastic friend, but also a brilliant presenter and journalist. And about a year and a half ago, more than that now, 2 years ago, we were approached by Jessica Kingsley Publishers, a brilliant publishers based in London, who said, "Do you want to write a book?" And we went, "Is this a scam email?" I remember saying to Emma, "I think someone's winding us up. We've had some email. I don't think they're real publishers. I think someone's in their bedroom and has made something up." And then we looked them up and went, "Oh no, you are a real publisher." And yes, nearly 2 years later, I'm holding in my little mitts now my book, Coming Out Stories, which is just stories from across the LGBTQ plus spectrum. Amazing stories. They are hilarious. They are heartwarming. Sometimes they're sad and shocking, but they are always, always uplifting and triumphant. And do you know what? Russell T. Davis has given the most amazing review for us, and it made me cry when I read it. So I'm so proud and can't really believe it.
Do you know what? I think it's amazing, and I think this is our belated, never started book club. Come on, let's buy the book, support Sam, and let's get a review out there. Let's raise the roof on our coming out stories.
Yay.
For Sam and Emma. So congratulations, really proud of you. I think that is such a massive achievement.
Thanks so much, Mrs. Yeah, it's lovely. It's lovely to see. My kids were like, funnily enough, the copies for me arrived a few weeks ago, and I showed the children, and they were like, "Oh, yeah, that's really cool. That's really cool." And then today at the breakfast table, I said, because we record this obviously a few days before this podcast comes out, so it was last Thursday, I said at the brekkie table, "Oh, my book officially comes out today." And Lila went, right. She went, "So can you actually buy it?" And I went, "Yeah, that's kind of the point of a book." She said, "Where can you buy it?" And I went, "Amazon's, Waterstones." She went, "Waterstones? That's a proper shop." And I was like, "Yes, it is." So, yes.
Oh, bless her.
I know.
Did she think you were just going to be selling it from the end of the drive?
That's what Dave said. It's just a suitcase on a pile of bricks.
Oh, well, amazing. Congratulations.
Thanks.
And Coming Out Stories, get it online. All of those, unless you're passing Sam's driveway in Arizona, where you can just knock go
on.
and get it. Yeah, please, come on, let's join in and give Sam some fantastic reviews on her new book in her new status as author. What a week for achievements, isn't it? I'm buzzing, still buzzing. And it was last week.
I tell you what, absolutely incredible. Of course, the USA, where I now live, has a new president. I can't tell you how good it feels to say President Biden, and how super exciting it is to say Vice President Harris. I mean, what a woman. I'm not even ashamed or embarrassed to say I cried during that whole amazing half an hour or so of those two inaugurations. It was just wonderful.
Yeah, there was just lots to take away, that wonderful spoken word poet.
Amanda Gorman, yeah, she was amazing. She's just 22.
Unbelievable. Now, we have to get her across to NPWLive on International Women's Day. You're in America. You surely can just put a shout out and get her to record. She can record it from the comfort of her own settee, so it's all good. But I loved it. I thought there was a real power in it. I loved, Kamala, Hillary and Michelle all in that kind of power purple. I thought it was very much around the suffragette vibe, but it wasn't. It was around the being, the uniting, wasn't it? Uniting the parties to make purple and stuff like that. I thought was brilliant. And I'm actually reading or audibling at the moment Kamala, and I know it's Kamala because that's how she starts her book. It's Kamala, like the punctuation.
Yes.
And one of the things in the book she talks about is when she got her first, I can't remember, it was a district attorney role, and it was, I think, the second time of asking, it's a bit like, nothing ever happens perfectly, does it, the first time? But
no.
She went to her office on the night that she got the seat and she got the vote. And in that office, it had just been stripped and totally decimated, and there was nothing in the office. There was a chair, there was no desk, there was wires sticking out the wall, and there's a comment that she makes, and I'll paraphrase it. It was very much, but actually I don't care about the desk, I don't care about the phone line or the email. I came for the chair. Oh my goodness. Wow. I just thought that, and it's so, and again, we could get her to come and speak at NPWLive as well, because we're all about seats all about seats at the table. So I think there's some just the most amazing images as well that I've seen out there. So brilliant, fantastic role model, change, but also tons and tons of Donald Trump memes out there too.
Do you know what? I never want to say his name again. And I took no notice last week of what he did after, in those mornings before. Obviously, he didn't go to the inauguration. Nobody missed him. And I didn't even take it in. He tried to have some sort of event for him leaving. And I thought, I'm not even going to watch it. I'm not going to engage in it because I don't care. Let's just channel Amanda Gorman instead, shall we? And everyone watch her poem and listen to her words. And let's teach our kids that as opposed to anything of the other guff that's been said for the last 4 years. And, talking about representation and seats at the table and Kamala Harris holding this, the highest office a woman has ever held in the US government. And people say, why is it important? So what? Women run companies. Women do this. Women do that. Why are you making such a fuss about it? And you kind of think, well, OK, let's look at the fact that the self-employment income support scheme that's just been brought in by the government in the UK really is unfair to mothers. Again, because the way that the self-employed income support scheme has been calculated is by averaging the profits of a self-employed person between 2016 to 2019. So what if you had a baby last year or the year before and didn't work for 6 or 12 months? Oh, well, tough is the answer to that, frankly. And it's just, still the government is saying, no, we need to look at this 3-year average. That's fairest for everyone. Well, it's fairest for everyone if you're a man who hasn't taken any time off to have a child. Plenty of men became parents during that time, and some of them did take extended leave, and some of them would have been self-employed. But as a general rule, it is very adverse to women, very adverse to mothers. Again, because guess what? Women are also carers and have generally have to take more time off. And having perhaps a woman in office like Kamala Harris around the world is going to start to just turn that ship a little bit more. And I think that's why we need her.
It is, and it's 1 degree at a time, isn't it? It's not going to all happen overnight, but it's 1 degree. But actually, the whole self-employed piece, Joeli Brearley, who was our Agent of Change winner, I say last year now, it was the year before, wasn't it? Of course. And she runs an organisation called Pregnant Then Screwed.
Yes.
And she has been championing and lobbying and gaining masses and masses and masses of support and getting heard, so the whole be heard. Joeli is out there doing her thing. So hats off to you, Joeli, because you are absolutely taking this fight out there and you are not prepared to sort of sit down on it. So, all credit for everyone, having their voice heard, every credit to being heard, being listened to. So, absolutely. Power Women Week.
Love it. She's an amazing woman. She's great. Good on you. I know you want to talk about the new phenomenon that is out there. And it is to do with being heard, but in a kind of literal way. And this is this new social media audio app called Clubhouse. Now, I'm going to put my hands up and say, OK, I work in audio. This is my job. I make and produce podcasts 7 days a week, pretty much at the moment. It's quite full on for massive organisations to individuals and everything in between. I have been invited to Clubhouse. I haven't yet been on it because I've been too blooming busy to get anything done, which is really frustrating and crazy. But have you been on it yet?
I have, actually. I have. It came across my radar a couple of weeks ago, probably straight into the new year.
Yeah.
And then again, too busy, too emotional, lots of stuff going on. And just didn't have the time to pick it up. P.S. just on the emotion thanks to all of the messages a couple of weeks when I felt like I was absolutely having a wobble. Lots of you reached out and was just checking I was okay, because I wasn't my normal upbeat jazz hand. So big thank you for checking in on the checkers over here. But yeah, I have picked up, and Sophie Milliken actually sent me a prod, and so I thought, right, okay. And it was an off night, late at night. I've got my headphones on. I'm trying to get away from the rain outside, Noah's Ark, and I'm not quite sure what to do with it. I'm not going to tell a fib here, but I've had a little browse. I've connected, because the last thing, it's another place to connect and send messages, and can you keep up with it kind of thing. But I think what's interesting is you can be a voyeur. What do you call a voyeur that listens?
Like a lurker. Well, just someone who lurks.
Because you can on the back of a postcard. I'm not sure. So you can go in. I've dropped into a few. One was about business awards actually, and that was Sophie was in that, and so I kind of dropped in on that. And that was quite, that was a very sort of focused chat around why you should high five yourself. So obviously I was very motivated by being part of that. Then there was one which was huge. It was a huge chat about the art of networking, and the people speaking from global media, TV presenters and producers and all kinds on that. So it's a case of you go in and you hear, and you can put your hand up to be asked to the stage, which there's an element of, it's easy to step back, isn't it?
Yeah.
But there's almost a safety in not being seen
exactly.
as well. So I think there's something in the be heard about it. So you can create your own room, you can create your own environments to chat with, and you can learn new stuff. So I think, I spoke to, I was on a call the other day, a lady called Andrea Edwards, who's been a real supporter around Northern Power Women, and she's got really embraced it, and she's already got a contract out of it. So, what I think it's these things, it's not, it's trying to, what are the rules here, and what can I offer in here? How can I help someone else, and how can I learn? And I think it is a bit of a place to hear new stuff, meet people that you may never be in a room with. It's a global app. It's only on iPhone at the moment.
It is.
I've got some spare invites to say it's invite only.
I've got a couple as well.
If anyone needs an invite, drop me a quick message if you're on iPhone, and I will send you an invite in. But yeah, I think it's definitely something to have a watch at. I can see you could get sucked in, or you could just think, I feel uncomfortable with it. But you know what? You've got to give these things a try.
Give it a go. Eavesdropper Simone, that was the word you were looking for. The audio lurker. Anyway, Clubhouse, check it out. Simone said, you've got a couple of invitations spare. I've got a couple of games spare. Let us know if you want to get involved, and we'll send one over. For sure. Should we get some life lessons going on, shall we? Who we got this week, Simone?
This week, we've got the wonderful Mercy Cousins. She's a chartered marketeer and former marketing director who now co-owns the Think Beyond marketing consultancy in Cheshire. And they offer everything from websites, pay-per-click and SEO. She's got 20 years experience in IT and software. And she has got some real snap, quick-fire life lessons for this week.
Hi, everyone. This is Mercy Cousins, co-owner of Think Beyond, a marketing consultancy. Here are my 5 questions. Question number 1. What's one piece of advice that has really stuck with you? For me, be yourself. Second question. What advice would you pass on to someone starting their career today? Build your network early. Start now. What would you tell the 25-year-old you about your work-life balance? Everything has a price. Question number 4. What difference did having a mentor make to you? My mentor helped me see marketing in terms of numbers. And finally, question number 5. When have you taken a risk and what happened? I moved to the UK with nothing, rose to marketing director, and now I run a marketing consultancy. Thank you, everyone, guys. Bye.
There you go, short but sweet this week, which is to the point. Mercy Cousins, thank you so much. I loved what she was talking there about networking, Simone. Don't leave it till later in life. Hit the ground running with building your network.
Absolutely. And we're doing a programme at the moment, a pilot with Liverpool John Moores University around carousel and networking. So, and that was one of the things that I share in the programme that we put together. It is never too early to network. And equally, you've got to invest in that network, haven't you? You've got to keep investing it, keep building, stay connected. So thank you, Mercy. Some brilliant, fast-paced life lessons this week, I think.
Do send us yours, won't you? podcast@northernpowerwomen.com is where you can send the email. We just love to hear from you. Whatever you have to say, it's going to be a real help to our listeners. So please do get in touch. podcast@northernpowerwomen.com. There's going to be all carousel networking as part of the big Northern Power Women Awards 2021 extravaganza on International Women's Day, isn't there? 8th of March, Monday.
Exactly. On the 8th of March, we are having our NPWLive. That's the umbrella. And we're going to have a carousel networking event for those who are in their early careers and a carousel mentoring event for university students. We've got a briefing event this week, which we will record. So if you want to get involved, we've got over 75 organisations and already signed up and over 200 individuals. So we're really, really excited about this. And equally, get your 3-minute videos. So whether you've got those top tips, your inspiring stories of how you've overcome challenge, get them into us as well. And we'll be streaming a dozen of those on the day, but building an online directory of information and insight from you fantastic Northern Power women and men out there.
I can't wait. And also, do you know what I can't wait for is the fact that when you come along to the Northern Power Women Awards Extravaganza Day, March 8th, 2021, you get some yummy yummies, because normally we'd be sitting around, wouldn't we, in a lovely hall, eating a big meal. I'd be shouting at people from the stage and my zip would be breaking on my dress in front of thousands of people. I'll just have to do this in the comfort of my own house this year. But, it's different this year, obviously, but you're still going to get to enjoy and celebrate with some delicious food.
Absolutely. We've created these viewing rooms, if you like. So if you've booked a table or you've booked a place, we'll put you on one of these tables so that you can network as you're doing. But really importantly is we wanted to send you something to celebrate and enjoy as long as you watch along with watching the awards. But the important thing for us is we want to make sure that they're locally sourced. We want to make sure that we are supporting small business. We're passionate about small businesses. So we're asking you for your recommendations because we want to be able to spread and share the love. So we can help small businesses in the food and hospitality business who've got things that they offer that we can send. So they'll be regionally sourced. So if you're in Tees Valley and I've got a brilliant someone out there who makes cakes or makes gin or whatever, let us know because we might be able to include them in our packs that we send out for the awards. So please get in touch, connect at northernpowerwomen.com and help us feed the celebrants at this year's awards.
That's so great. I love the fact it's all going to be locally sourced so you can really support your local community as well. So yes, please get in touch if there's anyone you'd like to nominate. If you found a particularly delicious chutney in the last few months and it's local to you, just let us know. That'd be fantastic. Look, before we head off into the sunset, there's been a lot of talk over the last year or so now, can you nearly believe, of working from home. Now, I've always worked from home, apart from when I've been in the radio studio when I was still at the BBC, doing my podcasting business. I've always converted a room in my house and created a studio and pretty much work from home. So I have to say, I found it quite easy. The one thing of the pandemic being easy was to work from home because it was what I was used to. What wasn't easy was there being several other people in the house with me, but that's another story. But for a lot of people who work in a very, very social environment and like the routine of going to the office and like seeing their colleagues every day, I think it's been incredibly tough. And you might think, well, how easy is it for it as well for bosses to know how their workforces are coping, how their workforces are feeling throughout the day? They can't see somebody with their head down and shuffling around and not being their normal selves anymore. So this is what is so brilliant. There has been a gadget created called the Mood Beam. It has been created by a woman who I love, Christina McHugh, inspired by her daughter. And it's like a little silicone bracelet. It looks a little bit like a Fitbit or one of those fitness trackers. And it's got a couple of buttons on the front. And what you do, essentially, is you just check in on your mental health several times a day. So you just press a button on the top if you're feeling tip-top and happy. You press another button if you're feeling a bit miserable. And that information then can be passed on to your HR, to your line manager, to your boss, who can check in and see if you're okay every single day, which I think for some people who maybe don't feel able to talk about their mental health, can't put their hand up and go, I'm struggling here, I'm feeling down, I'm not getting on well, but are able to press a button and then have someone come to them. It just breaks down another barrier, doesn't it?
It does. It makes, I don't want to say anything. I don't want to bother anyone. I don't want to feel like I'm trouble. All of that stuff that will often be that added barrier. I think that's amazing. I think that's so important. As this pandemic goes on longer and longer, I think it's really important that we keep just checking in on everyone, checking on yourselves, checking in on your mental health. Absolutely. I think that's a great idea. Also love that fact that it's been created by a female. Hurrah.
There you go. Exactly. Brilliant. Good on Christine. And Moodbeam is the name of that if you want to try and get your mitts on it for your company.
Oh, I love it. Do you know what I got last week? I got an out of office, and there's just something about it that I just loved. A lady called Pamela, who's from the University of Manchester, and it just opens up with, last night I had a dream that I was Superwoman. I woke up and realised I'm not. Therefore, due to the current situation, closure of university buildings and all the other things, I will unfortunately take a bit longer than normal to reply. Please bear with me.
That's
and it just,
brilliant.
There was just something and it popped in my inbox, and I just thought, how wonderful to be that, because we're all thinking it, aren't we? We're all going, oh God, I can't do everything. But, you can't even get on Clubhouse, but you can't. But I love that. And I love that. That was that, that I'm putting it out there straight now. I am not Superwoman.
That's terrific. Which means
you are, because you've got a book.
I think we all are. I was about to say, her saying I'm not Superwoman, actually, darn well she is. But even Superwoman needs to lie down in a cup of tea sometimes. I think that's what we all know. Oh, look, thank you so much for listening. Simone, as ever, marvellous to speak to you here on this podcast. The next episode is, of course, coming your way on Monday. Oh, my gosh, I'm going to say it. February the 1st. Thank you so much for listening. We always love to hear from you. Podcast at northernpowerwomen.com is where you can get in touch. I'm Sam Walker, she's Simone Roche, and the Northern Power Women podcast is a What Goes On media production.